I think I pushed all the right buttons. Thomas, are you there?
We're here. It's
We're here. Look at the time, really quick.
I know.
Really quick.
On time.
We're on time.
Early. It feels early.
Oh, I don't know what to do with all this, all these minutes right straight at the top of the hour.
So much extra time.
How are you doing? Happy Thursday. Happy Friday Eve.
Friday Eve. I'm so
I can't help but notice the tornado's gone in your background. You now have a logo of some sort.
Yes, indeed. Tonight is game one of the Western Conference Finals. Dallas Stars taking on, I already forget who they're taking on. Oh, the Edmonton Oilers. So
if you forget who they're taking on, can I just guess that you're going to vote for Dallas? You're rooting for Dallas.
Let's go Stars. I'm really excited. So yeah, they start, I think the puck drops here in about 5 or 10 minutes. So one thing I will ask of chat, if anyone's got the game on, if anyone cares, please don't put it in chat and spoil it, because I want it to be a surprise when the podcast is over. I can go downstairs and see where they're at for game one.
This is a sacrifice. I know how much hockey means to you, and this is me. We've just got to talk fast. It's going to be a 5-minute podcast tonight, guys, so that Thomas doesn't miss any of the action.
No, it's actually, so this year I've done it a little different. When I watch them play, I will purposely tune in about halfway through the game and not pay attention. And I don't know why it's been a thing, other than my stress level is really high when I watch the games. So just watching the full game, that much stress for that long, I can't take. So I'm like, I'll just tune in halfway through the game. And superstitions come with sports. And so then I feel like, well, we've made it this far. I need to keep that trend moving.
So you've got a superstition that if you were to watch the puck drop, it might negatively impact your team. Is that?
Yeah.
Just have to let them get going, let them get their groove, and then you just sort of ease in there, nice and gentle. Like, don't shake anything, don't cheer too loud.
If it's not broken, don't fix it, and that's where this year is morphed into for the playoffs. So, but either way, it's going to be great. There's the final 4 teams right now are tremendous teams with some great goaltending. There's some all-star players that are in the mix, but go Stars, go!
All right. There you go. So, and don't tell us about it either way in chat. If Amber's here, can we add some words to the banned list? Stars, Dallas, hockey, goal, Tide. What else do we need to add?
Anything. Oh, just about all of it.
Injury, any updates?
Anything related.
Oh, man. Thanks, guys, for no spoilers. I appreciate that, Thomas. Thanks for sacrificing being here tonight. How's your week been?
Great week. It's been awesome. And we typically do it. Police Academy update.
Yes.
It's over. It's sad. It's over. We had a 2-time this weekend. Or just
No, I've got a better one. We can go ahead. Tell us about the.
So Monday was our final day as in regards to activities and learning and going through things. And then Tuesday was our graduation ceremony. And it was well done, but it's over.
Kids grow up so.
And now I don't know what to do with my Mondays. No, but it was.
But they saved the best to last, right? You went out with a bang.
Literally with a bang. Yes. Monday was SWAT day.
Oh man.
They got to demonstrate some of their toys that they have, which was awesome. We got to play with their little remote robot that they have, which is so cool. It's got these awesome arms on tracks, so it can just go upstairs and downstairs if it needs to. 360 cam. It's got all this cool stuff. And they showed us all their RAMs and other things like that. And then they did get to show us the flashbang and how it works. And they set one off, and that was a good time. And then they showed us.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we definitely all had ear pro on. That was a big thing. And then they walked us through a little bit about their sniper team and how they'll shoot and what they do. And then it was go time. They gave everyone 10 rounds in a magazine, and you got to shoot an actual SWAT officer's AR. And they went 4 at a time, and they had everything laid out very safely and professionally and guided you through, and everyone got their own little target to go shoot. And if I recall, I think we shot from 30 feet, I believe. I'll get a text message here shortly because I know, shout out Officer Brian. He and his wife are watching right now. So if I'm
Hey,
wrong,
Brian.
he'll let me know. But
You're like, it was 25.
yeah,
It was 25.
yeah.
10 feet. 10 feet. Well, that begs the question: How was your accuracy? Was it on point, so to speak?
So I got first in class actually with the
Hey,
with the shooting aspect.
that's our
And
boy. That's our
what
boy
made
Thomas. Give him a star. Give him a
yeah,
big green star. Oh, you already have one. You're
no,
good.
I got a big green star. But what made it fun is I was last to go, and albeit there's a lot of people that have never held a pew pew before, right? And they're getting instructed for their very first time ever. So it was not a competition by any means, but I was last to go. So Officer Brian actually came over with me so he could take some photos while some of the SWAT guys were helping me. And he said, "Hey, why don't you get a little rapid fire?" Because a lot of newer people were a lot of time in between shots to try to regain their target. And I was like, "Well, I don't want to spray all over the place on the target. I want to try to," and he goes, "Come on, it'll be." So I went ahead, went rapid fire, and I put 9 nearly dead center. And then I put my 10th one, boop, right in the
In
target's
the old dome. Yeah.
in the old forehead there.
Mhm.
So it was a ton of fun. The SWAT guys were awesome. They were super friendly. Keep in mind, this is late evening stuff we're doing. These officers have to drop what they're doing if they can to come teach this class and show us what they're doing.
They've already put in a full day of work,
Yes, or
and then
some
they're
are getting ready to start their
yeah.
overnight shift and they're coming in hours early. Not one of them at all acted like it was a pain to be there. And if it was, they put on a great face. They were all so kind. They would chit chat and hang out and show us everything and explain things. We watch police chases on this channel sometimes. I got to get in a Bearcat, check it
Yes.
out and see how it was. Super
The
awesome.
Bearcats, they're functional.
Yeah.
They don't have much when it comes to like air conditioning, padded seats, cup holders. It's really just it's a people mover. It moves them safely. Beyond that, I mean, it's got some cool features as far as the rams and things it can do. But
Yes.
don't expect for like to be able to arrive in style and comfort if you have to go too much of a trip in a Bearcat.
Absolutely. And I found out it's on a Ford F550 frame. That's what their Bearcat is. And they don't even have the biggest of Bearcats. So that just kind of shows you when we see it on TV how big they actually are. But so it was really neat and seeing what they do and how they're trained. And then fast forward to Tuesday, real quick. That was our graduation evening. They fed us a nice Italian dinner. Officer Brian put together because he's in charge of this whole academy. It's up to him to create it and build it and do the agendas. So he took a lot of photos and videos and whatnot. So he built a kind of academy ending slideshow for us to hang out and watch, and the memories from I think it was 12-week class, if I'm not mistaken. And then he called Thomas also plays first place beer pong. uh, and then they called us up one by one and gave us our certificates. The chief is who presented it, and that was kind of a goodbye. But like I said, I know Brian's watching. A big shout out to him because
That's
again,
awesome.
this whole thing falls on his shoulders, and it was tremendous. It was the experience, the hands-on, the fun, the education. It was an incredible experience. So I'm now part of the alumni association of this academy, on that board that's going to help promote and hopefully draw more participants into newer academies, for
Uh,
Brian to
I can tell you,
showcase.
if they're anything like the alumni association, which I'm part of for the same type of class,
Uh-huh.
they will never forget your address. They will never let you go. They will reach out to you every time there's an opportunity, which is awesome. I love it. But it's
Yes.
very much like like when you graduate from college and you get your degree, and suddenly there's an association you've never heard of before that wants to talk to you about estate planning and where you're going to donate your on your will. Don't forget us in your will. They don't forget you either. But they do
Nope.
they do good job. Good job. I love what they do.
Yeah. So my position on the board is marketing. So I will be in charge of all the social media aspects and a few
You'll
other
be
things.
reaching out to
So
everybody, their email lists. You have their data. You're that
yes,
guy.
yes. In fact, there's a mutual friend that we have that actually moved in one street over not long ago, and I know she went through it. So last night when I was watering some of our new sod, I said, "Hey, by the way." the alumni associate. She's like, what do I have to do? And I was like, you just write a small check. That's all I need from you. She goes,
Just write it to
fine.
Thomas.
Yeah.
Write it to Thomas.
So,
It's a monthly thing. You just keep the checks coming. Then you don't have to worry. I'll take care of everything for you. No, that's awesome. I'm really excited. What those classes do for just community, the community's perception of law enforcement and how well they work together is, I think, invaluable. I think that's the best outcome, is getting people who didn't understand what law enforcement is or what their role is or really how it goes, and they've got the image that might be gathered from watching news stories or heaven forbid TV shows, and think that's what their police are doing, and in reality it's a different picture. And getting to see the people behind the badge and the lives and just the humanity, the real side of it, it's awesome. So great work to you. Thank you for bringing us along on this journey, and thanks to Brian as well. A lot of hard work there on his part as well. And Brian, thanks for not kicking him out, because we really needed these moments of our podcast.
It was fantastic. But like I said, now my Mondays are free, and I got to find a way to fill it in. And can I put in a baby plug and maybe a little teaser? It's not in reality yet, but we've been kicking around the idea. And we've got some time before it happens. We don't know when or how often, but Officer Brian and I might be doing a little podcast show coming soon to a viewer near you. Tongue tied. Trying to promote this. So
I heard beer new year.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's it. No.
soon beer new year. That's coming to a viewer near you. That is awesome. I'm really excited. I know Brian loves this. It was so exciting to see him be part of a podcast, and I think he's a natural. I think he's doing great. You're definitely a natural at it. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. That'll be wonderful. Please keep us in the loop, and please let us give us a heads up so we can shout it out, because I know a lot of people want to watch that.
Will do. If we get it finalized and get things nailed down, then we'll throw it out there and see who wants to be part of it and chime in. But speaking of updates, completely random, but because my cat just walked in and clawed me in the foot. Well, I haven't heard about
cats too.
Yeah, I haven't heard about Pickles, the cat.
Pickle, or Kiki, as we call him now. I'm in a competition with his other owner, because he has two families, at least two. We know of two.
Okay.
I'm in a competition because I found out he patronizes the family that is currently feeding him the best. So some of the finer things, especially in the meat products that were originally reserved for my family's dinner, may have made it into the cat food bowl. And we don't get to eat it now because the cat did. So sorry, Mrs. R.A. She's finding out here live on the podcast. That's what happened. But the cat's hanging around more, and it really is liking us. It's lounge. This is the lounge spot now because we have better food. So
Kiki's a fan favorite on the channel. We haven't heard for a while, so it's just.
I think he's a natural hunter, but he's a little bit lazy. I'm not sure if all cats do this, but my cat, when you go to pet him behind the ears, he immediately starts like the lawnmower purr, and he just flops over on his side, thump, like a fainting goat, sort of. I mean, it's that quick. It's just like there's even there's a sound, and he likes to be pet along the side and along the back, and he likes to be pet along the tummy. But there's a point, like usually it's the third pet, where he switches from this is perfect, I love it, don't stop, to grab you with his front claws and then do the whole rabbit kick with the tail, which is like full on fight. I mean, this is the most aggressive move a cat can make. You'll like bite, claw, and do the rear kicking and just like claws out. And it's like, be prepared to donate blood. And so there's a fine line you have to walk. And usually it's two pets on the belly, and then you've got to be like, I'm done, because I know where this ends. But other than that, it's good.
Other than bloodshed, it's fantastic. Cats and their DNA. It's funny. Are there other neighbors around that shoo the cat away? Because I know when we were in the midst of rescuing our cat, meaning he showed up at our door and we were feeding him outside, because I said, no more. We have rescue animals all over this house. I'll feed him out there. And I watched him walk across the street while my neighbor was talking to someone on a little walk, and he went over there and started kind of rubbing on his ankle.
Mhm.
And the gentleman, bless his heart, rest in peace, he's since passed, but he had the newspaper in his hand. He started swatting at the cat to get him away. That was, it's my cat. So I think it was the next day, and it was summer, that I asked Mrs. Weatherwatch. I said, shouldn't we just bring him inside? So I caved, but then peer pressured her, and he hasn't gone outside since. He's just sleeps in all the furniture. He owns the house now. We pay
And
him.
currently your foot's bleeding because of it. So
Yeah.
no, I actually, I do love the cat. It's amazing. It's nice. He will, when I'm persuading birds not to nest in my roof, he will come sit next to me and watch, waiting for one to land on the ground. and then he's cleanup crew. So he loves that part. He's a hunter, but he wants the prey to come to him or be easy. So he just decimates the lizard population, because we have lizards, like these little color changing geckos everywhere, all around the house, the fences, the plants. And so he eats 1 or 2 of those a day just for a snack. And likes to play with them, like a mouse, which and then eats them, which is good, because he does cleanup as well. But I think he just does it for fun.
Hunters and gatherers, and he prefers to gather.
He's much more a gatherer. So, how's your dog, by the way? Update.
Oh yes, Joey. He's doing fantastic. So after surgery, a few days later, he had what I thought was a little relapse all of a sudden, and I was decimated. I was like, okay, this big giant spinal surgery in his neck right here didn't work. Now I'm done. What do I do? Just complete panic mode. So I called the doctor, or the vet, and I think she might have called me. They're fantastic. They called me every other day to check up, see how I was doing. And I said, well, this is the issue and this is that. So he's been on a steroid, but he has pancreatitis. So they try to cut him off real fast to try to fight that and get rid of it. So I went ahead and just gave him another half steroid, and the next morning he seemed okay again. So I told the doc, and they gave a new prescription for that to wean him off a little bit slower to help with the inflammation and other aspects.
He's got roid rage.
Yeah.
That's a thing. My kids have had that when they've had to have steroid treatments.
Yeah. So he has been fully off of that, the steroid now for, I want to say, a week, and hasn't shown any issues of new inflammation or any pain or anything. He has been great. He can bark again, which I know sounds funny, but he was in so much pain he couldn't even bark and didn't even try to. So he can do that now. He can kind of jog around the yard. We try to keep it limited. I still have my stairs, a gate at the bottom up there, so he doesn't come up and down the stairs all day with me while I'm working. We're going to wait a couple more weeks to get him perfect and back to normal. But couldn't ask for anything more. I mean, it went from, we thought we're going to have to say goodbye to, he's doing fantastic. No, she's getting me back for Star Wars comments, I believe, that I was making to her yesterday. So,
I know she's not watching it. I don't think we have any ability to watch the game. We don't own a TV in the house that actually just connects to something than just the internet. And so I know she doesn't know what the game is doing right now.
Made a basket. I love it.
Made a basket. Speaking of animals that do weird things, there's a story out of the New York Post. You've all been to the zoo, and we actually talked one time about things that get thrown in the zoo cages with the animals, which crazy stuff sometimes. I mean, like Bowie knives and stuff. It's like, well, why bring this to the zoo? But obviously baby bottles, pacifiers, little kids' toys, rattles, anything they sell at the zoo gets thrown into the cage. You'll have the wrappers and garbage and water bottles and things like that. But someone threw a shoe in. And I'm not sure, it might have been like teenagers who sort of like, haha, stole your shoe. Look, I'm going to throw it where you can't get it, in the monkey cage. Oh, and you can't just climb in with the chimps. I mean, I didn't realize some people have chimpanzees as pets, but they're dangerous. I know there was one that like chewed that lady's face back in the day. They can be aggressive. So it's not just something you can go get your shoe back. But the chimp saw it happen, runs over there and picks it up and chucks it back. He's like, here you go. He lost your shoe. Throws it back out. He's like, we don't want your stinky shoes in here.
It makes me wonder, do you think the monkey, he or she, I guess we don't know, do you think the monkey did it going, "Get your trash out of my house," or was it like,
I
"Hey, I
imagine
realized you just lost a shoe, so here's your shoe back." Like, was it out of kindness or is it
I imagine it probably is repeating what it's seen, and so it probably threw the shoe, gave the bird, and then like turned and walked away. That's that's what it probably did. I don't think there was like some deep connection from primate to higher life form, where that's like, hey, I'm one of you. No, opposable thumbs for the win.
followed up with the, flinging poo trick that they are
Yes,
so good at, apparently. That's
deadly accurate.
yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
that's cool. I actually want to go back to the zoo. We have a zoo here in North Carolina that's massive. Like you can ride a train to get to one from one end to the other. Like it's inside the park, but it's like a train system, and it's pretty cool.
that's really neat.
Um,
I
I'm I'm
know.
I'm worried that I'm going to run into like wildlife because it's instead of being like the zoo when I grew up was very much concrete and cages.
Right.
But this zoo, it's newer. Zoos are different now, and it's more about natural habitat. And so you feel like you're almost like on safari because you have to walk through the trees and through the tunnel and up this hill and around. And now I'm more worried about like wildlife. It's like, what if something got out? What
Yeah.
if one of the tigers, because they can jump, right? And this little gap, the water, it's not fooling anybody. We know these things get out. We see it on the news all the time. And then
Right.
we've built a place for them to hide outside their enclosure while they hunt us. So, but I'm anxious to go back.
It's more like a safari park, if you will.
Yeah.
Because I know out in San Diego, which is where I was originally born and raised a gazillion years ago before I came to Texas back in 2004. Um, we had the San Diego Zoo, but we also had the safari park, which were two totally different experiences. Both equally fantastic and exciting, but just completely different. The safari park, you'd get on like a little bus or a little tram and you just drive out there in the middle of the lines and there they are. They're just running around. They can run up to you and hang out. And you're like, this is a little different. There's
Drive faster. Drive faster.
yeah. Oh, I have beef jerky in my pocket. This is terrible.
The
So,
worst of the videos on YouTube with the actual safaris where there's some little Jeep that it looks like a World War II, surplus that was bought and assembled out of a kit. And they're
yes.
out in the middle of nowhere with like half a gallon of water and 3/4 a tank of gas. And the guide's out. There's no top, right? It's just like open top. And they're out there. And there's just like lions and zebras, gazelles and wildebeests. And then you get the rhino that comes around and it's like, oh, play toy Jeep. And it's
Yeah.
like charging. And the guide is like slowly backing up so everyone can get their pictures. Right.
Yeah.
He's like keeping like that 10-foot distance. And
Right.
I'm like, you must be really, really good or trust this vehicle. Cause I've never had a car that I would trust my life with when a rhino was running to go slowly away. I would give it everything it's got to get the most distance as possible between me and them.
100%. It's the rhinos don't play long or play around, and they're so big and they're so strong and they're way faster than they look. That's what's wild about the rhinos. Um, I want to do a quick weather update based off
Mhm.
Donna's comments because there is actually a lot of action. We've currently have two observed tornadoes, not just they're tornado warned. One of which is down in southern Texas, which is just east of Killeen and Temple. For those of you who aren't aware with that, that's just north of College Station. That is currently ongoing and active. The other is
Got family there.
so there you go. Right in the elbow, it's technically just barely southwest of Altus, Oklahoma, another observed tornado, which also includes 3-inch hail. So again, these are tornadoes that have been observed and are on the ground currently creating damage. There are chasers in the area as well as spotters. I know I will be keeping a close eye on that one because if it makes a right turn, it will be heading down towards my direction. These are very slow moving storms. So the hail and the wind and everything that's included will produce quite a bit of damage in those regions. Outside of that, we have one more for southwestern Nebraska. These are currently radar indicated, so that means they haven't actually been seen by spotters or observers, but that's going to be in the North Platte, Ogalla area, again, southwestern area of Nebraska. Those are tornado warned storms. There are plenty other severe thunderstorm warnings going on in the country, but those are the most serious for now.
Yeah, crazy. Please stay safe. The weather can change, in a moment, and just be aware for sure. I was going to tell you just a brief little story personally. I mean, we haven't had the tornadoes, but this last week, after the live stream, I wanted to go get some food. I ran down to the little taco truck just down the road, and it's been nice and warm here lately, but like a cold front came in. It was like I was amazed at how quickly the temperature just plunged. And I'm like, I'm worried about freezing tonight. It's so bad. I mean, we've got tomatoes out and everything, and I'm standing there just like in my shorts and t-shirt at the taco truck, getting ready to order it. I was so cold. All I could say was burrito. I'm sorry. I had to go there.
Poor guy. Poor guy. He already. That actually brings me into something. I told you earlier that I had a joke I was going to bring on board, but I wasn't sure when the time and place. But I mean, this today for lunch, I got a chicken salad.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
Good choice.
Turns out they like grains.
Chicken, not a fan of the salad.
I got him.
Just trying to. I see what you did there. That's funny. That's
speaking of food. Do you have anything on your desk right now? I know we didn't really plan on it, but
I have some crackers. There's some goldfish crackers. What do you have? Do you have some goldfish crackers as well?
Some goldfish crackers.
Mine has a courthouse inside, like you can see as you look.
Oh, wait.
This is really trippy. I can't move the right direction. I know, according to plan, we should be holding the same thing right now.
Yes, I followed the instructions I was given.
I gave you the instructions.
Yes.
and you went to great efforts to make sure you could comply.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not respond as fast as I should have. And apparently, what does it say on the front of those, right up near the top of the package? Right above goldfish, the logo.
Oh, limited edition.
Yes, I found out how limited they were when I went to the store and found out they're no longer available. We were going to try them together.
Yes, we were.
And now I just have to take your word for it. And I'm going to eat these delicious cheddar and jalapeno goldfish crackers while you try the Old Bay ones.
I'm going to try the Old Bay.
Does it taste like a Louisiana crab boil?
They're phenomenal.
Really?
They are phenomenal.
Man.
I wish they weren't limited. And I wish I got a bigger bag, but I wasn't sure. These are so good.
Just my luck. These ones are going to be yucky.
Stacy says, well, you kind of deserve it. Try Old Bay peanuts. Sorry. I had to play it there. Oh, man. I don't like eating on stream, but I got to do another one.
These are pretty good, too.
I'd say that, too, no matter what.
You're just rubbing it in. I think you actually like them. These are good. They have way more heat than they should, and they're not enough cheddar. Like they added. It's a regular jalapeno with a lot of. It's a regular goldfish with a lot of jalapeno. They should have added more cheddar to offset the more jalapeno.
So I like really spicy. I think I might like that.
Do you want to try these? They're hot.
Are you offering those to the same person that has a very hilarious question on screen?
No. What's Old Bay? Like we fished these out of a dilapidated bay. Yeah. Old Bay is actually the seasoning where if you make a crab boil in the South, you use Old Bay.
So here's an image that shows there's the green screen's playing with it, but there's a crab is on the goldfish.
I've never tasted it. Apparently I never will because I missed my chance.
I will say this. I'm a huge New England clam chowder fan, even if it's out of a Campbell's can. I love it. It's great. They made an Old Bay version of that, or edition, I should say, and that was not very good. But these are great. I highly recommend it.
I'm going to
You
need
guys-
some water.
That's what
These ones are hot. You want to try these? They're hot.
These are so good. I would share with a friend.
Really? If only you had somebody who wanted to eat them at the same time as you.
Oh,
I will say the jalapeno's good. I wouldn't. I think those ones they're a bigger fish. It's like the Big Bites one, and I think it would be better with like a sour cream type dip with it.
okay.
I wouldn't just eat them like a snack by themselves. They're just jalapeno is something that I think just needs to go with something else. It's not something I just like eating by themselves unless they're pickled.
Okay, fair. Pickled. I do that with the fork out of a jar. Pickled jalapenos. They're phenomenal.
Yeah.
But
speaking of Old Bay, I've got this idea. The hardware store down the road, they sell like those big crab boil pots on the burners.
Yeah.
And like the strainer lifter things, and even like there's a garbage can topper lid tray that you set on top of like a 50-gallon garbage can, and then you've got like your garbage in the middle. You just dump all the food around. You just eat and throw the shells in the middle. They've got all those things. But I want to get like one of everything there and do a proper crab boil. I've never in my life had one. Like I've never done one. Never done lobster. Never done crab. Never done those mud bugs, the crawdads. I tried one time. There's a funny story there, but it's not sorry. But I caught a lot of mud bugs, but I found out how quickly they go bad in her cooler.
No.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was terrible. It was like almost like sell the house type. It was so bad. We can't talk about that now. It's still too soon.
There's still goldfish in my tummy. That would be a perfect time to introduce Mrs. RA into Old Bay. A proper boil.
That's what I'm thinking. Do an Old Bay boil, all the seasoning. I've heard a million things you put in. Some people say you put like hard-boiled eggs in, and I'm like, I'm not sure if I would do that.
I haven't seen that before. I mean, I'm sure you could realistically put just about everything you want in one of those things.
I've seen like you put potatoes and onions and
chunks
corn
of
on the cob.
Yeah.
And obviously your shrimp and whatever seafood you're cooking, crab, all that. But I tell you, if you've never seen this before, watch somebody make this. When you think of seasoning a dish before and you're thinking like, oh, turn the salt shaker to about halfway and you shake it lightly. No, they're like 2 packets of Old Bay and they're dumping in like 1.5 pounds of seasoning at a time. Just chunk, and another one, chunk. They're like, don't skimp on this. You're gonna want all this in there. You want the flavor. It's a lot of flavor.
100% sodium central. That's exactly what that is. But so good. It's incredibly good. So speaking of, I kind of want to bounce around just because that's the way it's happening. But I know we have other articles and things in there, but seafood, crab boils and whatnot, food, we've got sad times coming. And it's because of, I already knew of a few restaurants that were closing, Red Lobster being one of them. And that's what reminded me.
Sorry, guys. Me.
But there's a really big list, and I'm going to move this over here because I want to go down the list real quick versus off my other one. Now I realize that the viewers are from not just all over the country, but all over the world. So you may have never even heard of some of these. It doesn't really matter. But for others, I'm just going to run down it. Fuddruckers is expecting to close all locations by the end of the year. Old Country Buffet is closing all remaining locations. IHOP is closing 100 locations. Buffalo Wild Wings is closing all Canadian locations as well as 60 locations here in the United States. Applebee's closing 35 locations. Now that I feel like that happens often with huge chains that anywhere from 10 to 20 to 30, depending when you got hundreds. That's not a huge news, but I guess maybe it is for them because it's been going down. But Red Lobster closing 50 additional locations as they actually enter into Chapter 11.
Bankruptcy.
Yes.
Ouch.
And there's a rumor out there that Scott's part of it because of the all-you-can-eat shrimp.
2 restaurants that I might be responsible for. Red Lobster and this next one.
Denny's, because you shout
Denny's.
out the free pancakes every
I
morning to all the
know.
birthday goers. Denny's closing 20 locations by the end of the year.
Get your free pancakes now.
Now, this is one that kind of hits home because when I was just a little baby weather watcher, my parents would take me to this place. Not
I'm
take
sorry.
me,
That image.
baby
Look,
weather
mommy,
watcher.
tornado. Yeah, I love it.
Um, they wouldn't take me. We would go as a family, and most often it would be like Mother's Day, Father's Day, because they loved it, and occasionally maybe after church or something. But Marie Callender's is shutting down all remaining locations, and if you haven't ever been to Marie Callender's, you talk about like they're famous for their chicken pot pies or even their
All their
regular pies.
pies. All
All
their
their
pies.
yes,
It
they
is
are.
they have a huge chain of pies that are in grocery stores. Are they keeping that side, or are they just closing
It just
the
says
dining
closing remaining
locations?
locations. So I bet they're closing storefronts and they're just going to keep their line of
'Cause
frozen
they're like,
goods
I
in the
mean, they're
grocery.
in Walmart. They're in every Walmart. They're
Yes.
nationwide, and
And it's
my
like
mom
one
lives.
little pot pie from them. I say little, they're good medium size.
Mm,
And it's like 10,000 calories. One pot pie, it's insane. It's like the worst thing in the world you could ever eat, but it's
it
amazing.
tastes delicious.
Yep. And then this one I can get behind and I can cheer for. Pizza Hut's planning to close 500 locations.
One of
The
the
reason
only all you can eats I've ever been kicked out of was a Pizza Hut.
how do you why did you ask for a to-go box when you were done or what?
Apparently, they do have a limit. All you can eat is not all I can eat. So, but that was over in England. Got kicked out of a Pizza Hut in England.
Really? I've had food poisoning 5 times in my entire life. 4 of them were from different location Pizza Huts.
So, you're not going to go for the fifth. Imagine the fifth location.
They can shut it down.
Okay, no Pizza Hut.
Outback Steakhouse is closing 41 of their 700 locations. Let's see. I can't even pronounce this one. Saibaro?
Saibaro.
Yeah. Red Pen,
Saibaro.
where you at? No, I'd look up. She's there.
Has
Making
anyone
fun.
ever eaten it at Saibaro?
I've never even heard of it.
The clue for me on that one is that they're mall locations, and malls have been going down across America for years. They
Yeah.
used to be everyone would go to the mall, and now there are some malls that are still doing well and thriving, but they're rare and they're big, and they have to have huge anchor stores that draw people in.
Right.
But just your average, town mall, it's turned into a ghost town.
So, John, well, sorry, it just skipped up on me. That's not it, because that's amazing, and I love that mall pizza. It is. I just typed it in here. It's this. It's the spelling of it.
I typed that.
No, I did, but when I hit enter,
Oh,
because we're on your StreamYard, so it says
okay. I'm like, I don't remember typing anything in chat.
no. Yeah, no, I can have a lot of fun in chat under your name if I really wanted to. So you're trusting.
I found this out today.
No,
That's today years old when I found out Thomas can what's it called when you imitate, imposterize? What is that? Be an imposter. There's a word out there that's escaping me.
I could do this.
There you go.
I could have a lot of fun with it.
And you can highlight it.
Yeah, that's right, and I can put it on the screen. And here you go, six fold. Give it to you. Impersonate.
There we go.
I'll fire through these. Mard Pizza is closing 27. That is one I am not familiar with or have heard of. Mard, M-A-R-D. I'm not sure where they're popular or famous. Ruby Tuesday closing 16 more locations this year. BDQ. Have you heard of that one?
BDQ. I have not.
It's closing 8 locations out of 59.
Sorry. I can do it. You can play this game.
Now we've got a battle going. Well, I can.
There we go. Whoa. Apparently, Thomas is watching the Stars game.
Oh, no, sorry. I don't want to mess up the orientation. Joe's Crab Shack. That's a big one. 41 of their 60 locations. That's a huge, huge hit.
Let's do the math. Do the math. That's 2/3. It's a tiny percentage over 2/3.
68.3% that are closing.
Ouch.
That's a big one. And then what's kind of fun, well, not funny, it's sad. Joe's Crab Shack and Bonefish Grill, both of these two bring me back to when I lived in Tulsa, where I played hockey because they weren't far from each other. Um, Bonefish is the last one on the list. They're closing 7 locations. So it's a ton of places that are shutting down. Um, I don't know why I saw this and decided to grab it and throw it on the script for tonight, but I just thought that's crazy because that's a lot.
It's a ton. I wonder how it compares to other years. Like just typical,
Yeah.
you know, is this normal operation? Is this like you've got franchises that are they're always expanding, right? They're always selling more locations. You buy a location, you set up, and you know, they start 2 and shut down 1, right?
True. Yeah. It's the ebbs and flows of having franchises. And
Like I can tell you that the Little Caesars franchise near me should be shut down, like probably by the health department, but they really need to go. They don't know how to make a pizza. Like you say a pepperoni extra most bestest, and then you order a regular one next to it. You cannot tell the two apart. I'm sorry, but extra most bestest pizza should have extra most and bestest pepperoni, and it sure doesn't.
There's a reason they earned the nickname $5 hot and sweaties, because that's what their pizza tastes like.
I found one Little Caesars restaurant that had amazing customer service, and it's worth driving, I don't know, 7 miles past the closest one to go there and get the pizza. They build it right, and their employees are incredible. I left a huge review. I'm pretty sure the guy got promoted to like general manager of Little Caesars after the review I left, because I pretty much said he was the best. So
then he got recruited. He's gone.
Yeah, he hasn't been there since. So,
right. Oh,
that's a lot of restaurants closing down.
It really is, you know, and it won't really. We do have a Red Lobster in our town. We have 1 Denny's left in our town. We had 2, and one just shut down, golly, 4 months ago. IHOP, we have 4 of those in our town. Trying to think anything else on that list. We don't have an Outback or anything, so it's not really going to affect us in our town. Again, we have roughly 110,000 people here, and there's probably like a restaurant for every 10 people. That's like every year coming to town. It's this billboard of however XYZ restaurants are moving. So there is no shortage of restaurants in our town to eat. So it won't hit us. But I know there's places that it might be a smaller populated town where an Outback is like the nicest place that they have available within 2 hours. And if that shuts down, that's a big bummer.
Yeah. What's interesting is a lot of these places depend on each other. So you can't just build a restaurant and just expect it to survive. Okay, in a community, it needs to have some tourism, it needs to have some travel coming through. There needs to be stuff because the community itself will have ups and downs.
Right.
And you know, if there's another big draw on the community one night, it will be nothing in the restaurant. And their bills are still there. They're still paying employees in case people show up. And so they need something that will even it all out. And you know it's a good sign when you go to the restaurant and you aren't able to be seated right away.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I went the other day and they're saying, you know, look, our tables are full. Do you mind waiting? And I said, sure. And then next thing you know, he hands me like a tray of drinks. He said, table 4 needs these. And if you can go take their order.
Yeah, that's true.
So I was waiting. Do you mind waiting? I was waiting.
And
sorry, that was terrible. That was terrible.
I'm waiting for chat to throw tomato. No, they get it.
Yeah, I'll see myself out.
There we go. Renee liked it. Mrs. All right. Yes. Some of it definitely would be economy driven, but I know, for example, Scott and I were talking about it pre-show, Red Lobster. Everyone jokes about the all you can eat shrimp and what that's doing. It actually, there's a bigger story behind it. And it's, so there's a big hedge fund that bought Red Lobster. And what they did is the land every Red Lobster's on, they raised and increased all their leases to where these locations can't afford it. And that was purposely done because if anyone that's familiar with Red Lobster knows, they have some of the most prime real estate on their locations all over the place. So now the Red Lobsters that are having to shut down and close because they can't afford it, that hedge fund is selling off that land to others and making a ton of money. So that's it's not, Scott did not eat all the shrimp and put them out of business.
I'm vindicated, guys. All those messages you sent me saying you shouldn't have had that 5th tray of shrimp.
Oh, but our location would be the responsibility of my wife and I with their cheddar biscuits, because we definitely those we could go
See,
through.
they tried to fill us up on cheddar biscuits, and I'm like, I'm not falling for this. I know that the cheddar biscuits are cheap. You make them cheap. I'm here for the shrimp. I paid for the endless shrimp. I didn't pay for the endless cheddar biscuits.
That's right.
But they were all, hey, how are those cheddar biscuits? I'm like, good. Shrimp, garçon.
Garçon.
No,
Oh, I love it.
all good. I've been watching chat tonight, hoping that someone would come in that would lead us a tie-in to one of our stories. I've been scrolling through the names. I just have not seen it. Have I missed any Kyles here tonight? Is there a Kyle in the house?
If there's a Kyle in the house, raise your hand. Wave it in the air like you just don't care. We don't.
Or is someone watching with a Kyle in the house?
It's Cass, maybe Cass. Is that Kyle Alexander Smith? We can't just rename people. That's not right.
Well, this actually is probably the best tie-in ever, because we're lacking a Kyle. We're missing one of the names. Everybody knows a Kyle, right? But apparently not here.
Not here.
Not here. Which is it was actually the headline of the story, is that there were not enough Kyles in the world, specifically in Texas. Story out of Texas. They had an annual gathering of the Kyle. Gathering of the Kyle. It's like a Scottish thing, only it's not. It's just Kyles. It's not Scottish. And they gather Kyles, and they try to break the world record for having the most people with the same first name in the same location. And so I don't know why they chose Kyle. Probably, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, the organizer is named Kyle. And so he gets to participate because it's one of the most exclusive. It's in Kyle, Texas. It's one of the most exclusive clubs to be Kyle, and they try to. I mean, they invite the Guinness Book of World Records people down there, and they're like, "Hey, check this out!" And they do the count. And they were trying to break the total 2,326. That's what they wanted. Any guesses in chat at how many Kyles showed up? I've already teased that we're missing some Kyles, so I'll tell you now, it's less than that. How many Kyles do you think showed up to the Kyle Fest?
No guesses yet.
How many Kyles? No Kyles to guess.
Oh, okay. Here come the guesses. Let's see.
Birds in flight.
53. Okay. We're a little short. They were missing a bunch. A bunch showed up, but they missed a bunch. So remind us again, they were looking for 2,300 something. That's what they needed.
They were looking for 2,326 to break the 2,325 record. So they just needed one. But let's see. I've seen some good guesses. Birds in Flight has come actually the closest. The total number of Kyles who showed up was only 706.
Wah, wah, wah.
Less than a third of the previous record showed up.
That's pretty bad. This story is funny because a guy that used to work with us, his name is Kyle. He doesn't live too far from Kyle, Texas. So my colleague messed with him. He sent him the link before the event. Said, "Hey, you showing up? You're gonna go be loud and proud and be there?" And he responded like, "Yeah, right. Like, that's ridiculous." So now that this is out, I'm gonna tell my colleague, "Hey, text him and be like, way to go. You guys totally flopped. You should have showed up."
Yeah, I'm headed down to Thomas, Texas later on today, and we're gonna crush that Kyle record. Where's I guess Scotland is the only place I could go, right? Scotland. And is there a Scott somewhere?
There's Scotland, Texas, about 20 minutes west of me.
That's closer than the one across the pond.
Much cheaper. And you got a place to stay.
You do a meet and greet, but you all have to change your name to Scott before you come down. And legally, they would not accept any variations. So all the Kylers and Kylan and Kylo Ren, or no variations of Kyle. It had to be full on just Kyle. First name only. No Mr. Kyle, no Scott Kyle last name. There we go. Kyle is here.
The algorithm is a beautiful thing.
Thank you, Kyle.
YouTube
A
really
day
knows
late and a dollar short, but you're here. We've got another one as well. Look, they're popping in. Right here.
We've
Kyle's
got
in the chat now.
Kyle's. I love it. So speaking of world records,
Mhm.
some are funny, and I don't know how these always pop up. We talked about the world record for the oldest skydiver last week, 106. That made it. Now, the poor Kyles, they fell short, but I'm assuming they still own that record from 2017. So kudos for the Kyles in Kyle, Texas. A new one that I've never heard of, and I know there's weird world records out there, right? I don't even know how to go with this one.
I know where you're going, and I don't want to rescue you at all. I'm leaving this all on your shoulders or on your head, so to speak. This falls directly on your head.
It's a museum, which is what throws me for this, but a museum in Missouri. They broke the world record for hosting the world's largest gathering, not of Kyle's, not of Scott's, not of Thomas's, but of people with underwear on their head. I don't understand. It's in St. Louis. It's called the City Museum in St. Louis. They wanted to commemorate 314 day with flair as a nod to the town's area code of 314. They hosted an event on March 14th and decided to shoot for the stars by trying to achieve a record. So
I have questions. I
don't. It's weird. Apparently they're known for being real quirky, and their artist built playground and stuff like that. But they set out to 314 people to gather underwear on their heads for one full minute. So that makes me feel a little better, but
I don't want to know the answers yet, but these are the ideas going on in my head. Whose underwear is everybody wearing? What is the condition of said underwear? I'm hoping there's a lot of Fruit of the Loom packages on the ground around. The big one, Pam says, why? Why would anybody do this?
So there's a picture with the article, and so I'm with you. I prefer to show up with my own, but there's literally a lady at a table with the Hanes
whiteies.
Yes, yep. Handing them out. Now I'm sure they bought them all fresh. They're packaged. Here you go.
Oh no, last week was the donation week, I think.
I'm bringing my own. I'm sorry. Well, let me back that up. I'm not going is what's happening. But if I had to go, I'm bringing my own. My favorite
picture, obviously we can't show them, but my favorite picture, they show the people like all with the underwear, and it's all Hanes, it's all boys briefs. And one girl has like the pigtails coming out the leg holes, it's all pretty much worn the same style. Some people have it like a headband a little bit. But then there's the photographer. There is nothing on his head. He's like, I'm here on assignment. There is no way you're getting me to put a pair of those on my head. I just take all the pictures. I'll take all the pictures, but I'm not doing it. The mayor as well, or the Guinness Book of World Records guy, whatever the dude's was, also not participating.
That's right. I'm here by force, not by choice. I'm not worried. It's the I know there's not very many, but it's the Guinness Book of World Records guide that's in all the Dude Perfect videos when they try to break theirs.
He's got one job. That job used to be cool, right? The Guinness Book of World Records. It used to be like world's strongest man competition, right? It's like, this guy is going to lift 2 Volkswagen Bugs, and he does it. And you're like, there you go, sir. You get the award. And now it's like, this guy can brush the teeth of 17 cats while juggling with his feet. And like, and he beats who at that? I mean, who is your closest competition in this particular, little narrow niche that you have carved out for yourself? It's become anybody can have a girl against Book of World Records. You just need to think of something obscure enough that nobody else will even want to try it.
Yeah, it's like, I got to go tomorrow. Guy's going to see how far he can move a tic tac with his nose. So at 9 o'clock, I'm going to head down. I mean, like, come on, really?
Yeah, get me back to. I want to see the guy who pulls a 747 with his teeth. Okay, that's this is something I can get behind for Guinness Book of World Records. But some of this obscure stuff, it's just like. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. We'll have a very, very upset Thomas and somebody banned. You don't want that to be you. Oh man. Speaking of hockey game, you've given almost an hour of your hockey time.
Apparently it's a good game.
It started, pucks dropped. Now's the time to watch. I don't want to keep you much longer. Is there something else you wanted to bring up before I cue the music?
Well, off script, I want to put this on the record.
Okay.
This is completely not what we're doing, but I want to see if I can get it. Well, so it's on. Oh, I shouldn't open social medias either. What am I doing? It's on Twitter, and it's a video. Don't crucify me for this, but I think it was a corgi. I don't remember for sure. He's at the top of a staircase. They have 2 baskets with the teams that are facing each other at the bottom. The owner throws from behind the camera, throws a ball up to it, and the corgi bunts it with his nose down the stairs, and it lands in a particular team's basket. And they do it. They're trying to portray who's going to win. So the projected outcome based off of the basketball shooting corgi is that the Stars are going to win the series in 7 games. So I'm putting that on the record here now, that if I were to bet money in Vegas.
Speaking of gambling, now's the time to go place your bet, because the corgi has spoken. In 7 games, Stars are winning it in 7.
Yes.
Well, Thomas, I don't want you to miss their fantastic beginning game. There's the beginning game, which should be right now. Sorry, that was a little loud. Are you deaf over there?
We're good. So I'm excited. They should be, I don't know how far they in. At least the first period definitely has to be over by now. But like I said, I can't start from the very beginning anyway. So this is perfect timing.
I just looked. I hit the button just a couple seconds early. I was trying to time, because last time on our podcast, we ended exactly at 1 hour, 0 minutes, 0 seconds. I hit the button. So the music will end before the 1 hour mark. So we're calling it quits early. So do you feel like you've given like less than 100% tonight? Are you good?
A little bit, but sometimes that's okay.
Maybe we should like read some messages or something. Let's see if we've got some starred messages. Let's see. Adrienne Alito. I can't say that. Adrienne, became a member. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Also, we have Krista Johnson, gifted membership. Thank you very much, Krista Johnson. Appreciate you as well. It's wonderful. You guys are amazing. You feel gypped. I feel gypped. I want my money back. Cheater. Had I not told you we were shooting for that hour mark, he never would have known.
Now look at chat now. Slackers, quitters, slacker, you're cheating us. We're getting killed. Oh,
I hit the beep button. I was trying to reset it without letting anyone know, but the beep sort of I messed it up. That's what I did.
Even our friend Roy's calling us out.
Oh, Roy. I've got a package I need to send to you for Roy. But you get the full hour pay. Put in a special request to the boss. Let's see if it gets through. Let's see. I haven't forgotten your shirt. It says Tammy.
Where did for you? Oh, yes, that's cool. I got the same one. Sans logo.
Looks good. I love this shirt. Feels good to wear. It's really good. All right. Let's see. Weekend's coming up. Golf? Anything on schedule?
Absolutely. Fingers crossed. Severe weather here on Saturday.
You talk about golf. Let me just tell you, we had there was a story on Twitter. There was the Tennessee, I don't forget what college. Their golf team was traveling for a competition, and they're sitting on the plane. Flying Delta. They're looking out the window filming as their bags are being thrown off, and it's like golf club bags. I mean, you're not mistaking this for someone else's suitcase. This is a bag of golf clubs, and the guy's just chucking them on the tarmac, and it's just endoing and falling, and they're laughing because there's nothing else you can do at that point, because you're like, hey, that's my bag. They can't hear you. But Delta responded with like a bot. Thanks for contacting us. Please direct message us. And I was like, Delta, do better. And like 5 minutes later, they're like, we are so sorry. We're so sorry. We're making it right to make sure they have all their clubs. They can compete this weekend. There won't be a problem. This is not us. This is not who we are. But I thought that was hilarious. I found that comment. I actually reached out to them and said, can I show the video? But they've been swamped with requests because that's sort of viral.
Fair. I've seen that too. It's good. And I don't know, it might be satire, but someone posted another tweet from Delta, and it was, that's why you guys should have head covers. And head covers are kind of teased in golf a little bit, depending on your friend group. So it's kind of an epic tweet back. But I have heard that those guys were fired and this and that and whatnot. But it's that was huge. That was a big deal because that was them heading out to the NCAA national tournament.
Yeah. Now one of them lines up to tee off, and the head flies off the club, and they know exactly why it's not attached anymore. Anyway, Thomas, you've got a hockey game to watch. We've got a little sleep to do. Now I ran out of music, and we're over the hour, so you shouldn't feel cheated anymore.
Yeah.
Round 3 of the song.
Everyone, back off.
You guys, this is so hard. This is so hard to time it. I'm sitting here, I'm trying to watch, squinting out of the corner of my eye, how many seconds this is, and I misread it. I started at the wrong time, and I can't yeah. Now hiring, we need some help. Is what I'm saying.
Someone with experience.
Experience.
As we wrap it up, what time tomorrow, and what's on your agenda for your day show?
I believe we're back to Karen Reed. I think it goes live again tomorrow. So we're going to be on day 16 because we're a day behind.
Okay.
And then we're going to be jumping back to this trial out of Georgia. Honestly, I'm a little worried because we started following the trial, and then when the Emmy gets up, it gets graphic. I mean, like war scene graphic. It's pretty bad. I'm not sure what to do there. Honestly, it's more. I mean, I'm all for seeing Emmy pictures, but it's just more than I'm willing to show. So we might need a lot of peaches, like fields of peaches.
Okay.
We might be watching for a little while. So 8:45 tomorrow is my plan. But
8:45-ish. Everyone, thanks for tuning in the podcast and being here with us to hang out. Sorry about the atrocious ending that we threw at you for this one, but we will see you in the morning, and Scott will make it up to you since I won't be involved.
Thanks. Throw me under the bus right as we go out the door. You guys have a good one. Thanks for watching.
Bye.